So that's just the process. It's not that, but so many, it's like a breakdown, like a crash course, but there are so many gimmicks and all that in between these processes. And the reason why people go more for these cargo express services is because once you do, is a consolidated item, and once you've done your custom clearing there as a console, there's no need of you paying any additional money. And the service they do most time is that you only make payments in the origin airports. That's at the origin in Nigeria. Once you make your payments in Nigeria, you're not paying any additional money. Your item will not get there and they will be telling you that, okay, we have to revalue your item. That's not like that. Once you make your payments here, then your item is taken down to your doorstep. But the disadvantage is that it is not as fast as the like of Express Korea. So you should not get it twisted. It is not as fast as the likes of Express Korea because you have to consolidate many of those cargo, which at times take a week or 2 weeks. Then after which, you have to do documentation. Then you have to give to an airline. Many people are into this business now. So maybe you give to an airline today, the airline might not be able to carry it maybe in the next 2-3 days. You understand? And when the item gets it takes time to clear. But clearing in UK is not that difficult. Once you employ the service of those who knows about it today in UK, it's not that difficult. So after you've done the clearing, DPD or whoever service or Royal Mail, anyone that you have contracted for the third leg degree will come to your warehouse to pick this item up and initiate the doorstep delivery. So that is that and that and that. So just like I said before, what to do before you start this business is you have to register your business. Ensure that you have all the proper licenses before you engage yourself in this business so that you don't be doing an illegal business in a foreign country. So all these factors, the costs that you incur in all those processes, like the documentation, the cost you incur in documentation, the cost you incur on airline services, the cost you incur on clearing, custom clearing, and also the cost you incur on doorstep delivery. These are all the things you bring together. And then once you bring all these costs together, then you have your own profit margin, which is going to now bring you back to how much do you intend to sell your service? How much do you intend to sell your service? Because you're going to get sourcing here, you get a warehouse here in Nigeria that will keep those items. And after then you do documentation. Documentation is done on packaging. And also airline service charge is done also on packaging. And one thing on airline service charge is that the more the volume, the lower the rate. That's one thing on airline charges. The more the volume, the lower the rate. At least for many airlines that I know of, the more the volume, the lower the rate. And you can't go to an airline direct. You have to seek. Every airline already has a registered registered agents. So, and the reason why they do this is because airline business is the most regulated business in the world. So they want people that knows what they are doing so that they will not end up putting a contraband, explosive, or any restricted item on their flight, on the flight. So after you acquire all these costs, you add your own profit margin, and then you can now know how much you want to charge for that service. That is that. And if you also want to learn more, I'm doing a training presently now on my social media channel. You can follow up with those trainings so that as you use this crash course, you can also be learning more about logistics and transportation management. So thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye.